Today, on October 20th, Archangel Michael says, "I saw your future, and I couldn't stop crying. I wasn't allowed to tell you until now. You have 16 seconds left. My child, my beloved, I have walked through the corridors of time. I have seen what waits for you. And I wept, not because of sorrow, but because of the magnitude of what heaven has prepared for you." Before you read further, pause and breathe, because this is not a random message. This is heaven breaking its silence after years of watching you fight alone. If your heart feels something moving right now, that's your confirmation. You were meant to see this. My beloved, heaven made me wait to reveal this until the exact second your soul was ready. And that moment is now. Do not rush away. What I am about to say will rewrite the story of your future forever. But first, listen carefully. Heaven asked me to tell you to stay connected to messages like this, because each time you return, your energy becomes more aligned with the miracles that are chasing your name. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe so heaven can always find you again when the next revelation is released. Now, let me show you what I saw. I saw you standing in the middle of a road of light, broken, tired, yet surrounded by unseen angels. Your hands were trembling because of the weight of what life has done to you. But there was a glow above your head that refused to die. I tried to speak to you in dreams. I sent whispers through songs and sudden chills at midnight. But you thought it was just the wind. It wasn't. It was me, Archangel Michael, calling you back to your destiny. There is a reason you feel like time is running faster lately. It's because heaven has accelerated your season. Doors that were locked for years are about to swing open within days. But there's a warning, too. If you walk away now, you delay the promise. When I looked into your future, I saw two paths. One was filled with confusion and loss, the other, with gold and laughter. The smallest choice you make tonight will decide which one becomes yours. You think miracles take years, but child, some are waiting at the edge of this very week. There's a contract, an encounter, a divine appointment arranged for you. And it will not miss you if you choose to stay awake spiritually. My beloved, you were never forgotten. The delays were not denials, they were divine protection. Every tear that fell onto your pillow was counted, recorded, and is now about to be redeemed. I saw your name written in light beside a seal that said, "Approved by heaven." I saw wealth, not just of money but of influence and peace. I saw faces that once rejected you, silently watching you rise, speechless. You are entering a season where what broke you will announce your promotion. Yes, the same situation that made you cry will become the reason you smile again. But you must understand this secret: miracles do not come to those who wait idly. They come to those who are alert in faith. That's why heaven made sure this message reached your eyes at this precise minute. My child, my beloved, even as you read this, 3 angels are walking around your house. They are touching walls, anointing corners, and preparing space for new beginnings. If you feel goosebumps or warmth, it is not your imagination. It is them. The darkness that tried to suffocate your hope has been seen. A report about you was just discussed in the courts of heaven, and I was told to deliver the verdict myself. Case dismissed. Your past is no longer a sentence, it is now a testimony. There will be a sign within the next 24 hours. It might come through a name, a number, or a sudden coincidence so exact that you'll feel chills. That will be heaven's way of saying this message was truly for you. Do not doubt this, for doubt closes doors. Instead, whisper softly now, I believe. Because the moment you speak those words, light begins to travel toward your life faster than pain ever did. Beloved, I saw you surrounded by papers, applications, forms, decisions. You were worried, asking, will this finally work? And heaven answered, yes, but only if you stay still and trust. The blessing is not lost, it's waiting for your calm. You have been feeling tired, drained, sometimes questioning if heaven even remembers your name. But let me remind you, the reason you're weary is because the final battle happens right before the crown is placed. That's why everything feels heavier now. It's proof the shift is near. My child, my beloved, someone you love deeply has been talking to heaven about you. Their prayers have been echoing for months. And God finally said, enough waiting. Send Michael. That is why I am here delivering this word through human language. I wasn't allowed to tell you before. The timing wasn't right. Your spirit had to mature enough to receive without fear. Now it has. You will soon walk into a surprise that feels almost unreal. People will think it's luck, but it will be the direct fingerprint of heaven. When it happens, remember these words, it was written before you were born. And yet, there is a warning written beside your name. If you let bitterness guide you in these next few days, the miracle will hesitate. Forgive quickly, even if they don't deserve it. Forgiveness will unlock what fasting could not. Beloved, I saw you giving something away, a gesture so small yet powerful. Heaven multiplied it instantly. A single act of kindness will return to you as abundance within weeks. Watch how the energy you release becomes the harvest you reap. Even now, angels are aligning faces, opportunities, and timings to meet you halfway. Your destiny is not lost, it was simply being rehearsed behind the curtains. Every disappointment was heaven editing your story for a better ending. My beloved, there is something else you must know. A person with a gentle voice will soon deliver unexpected good news. I wasn't allowed to tell you before. The timing wasn't right. Your spirit had to mature enough to receive without fear. Now it has. You will soon walk into a surprise that feels almost unreal. People will think it's luck, but it will be the direct fingerprint of heaven. When it happens, remember these words, it was written before you were born. And yet, there is a warning written beside your name. If you let bitterness guide you in these next few days, the miracle will hesitate. Forgive quickly, even if they don't deserve it. Forgiveness will unlock what fasting could not. Beloved, I saw you giving something away, a gesture so small yet powerful. Heaven multiplied it instantly. A single act of kindness will return to you as abundance within weeks. Watch how the energy you release becomes the harvest you reap. Even now, angels are aligning faces, opportunities, and timings to meet you halfway. Your destiny is not lost, it was simply being rehearsed behind the curtains. Every disappointment was heaven editing your story for a better ending. My beloved, there is something else you must know. A person with a gentle voice will soon deliver unexpected good news. When they speak, listen beyond the words. You'll feel the warmth of heaven behind their tone. And when fear tries to whisper again, remember this prophecy: no curse, no rumor, no betrayal can cancel what God has signed with His own hand. I am showing you this glimpse because heaven needs your faith alive again. The world has tried to dull your light, but tonight the glow returns stronger than ever. You are about to become the answer to someone else's prayer. The next 16 seconds are symbolic, child. They represent the thin space between despair and destiny. If you choose belief within that space, the shift begins instantly. So stay, listen, and don't scroll away, because the next words I speak will open a gate you have prayed for silently every night. My child, my beloved, when I looked further into your timeline, I saw the reason I wept. It was not because darkness had won, but because I saw how close you were to giving up right before heaven's reward arrived. Do you know how many times miracles come, and people look away in doubt, missing them by inches? You were almost one of them. But something inside you refused to quit. That tiny spark, your faith, your whisper, your tear, turned the entire judgment of heaven in your favor. That is why you are reading this now. This is not coincidence. It's the written evidence that heaven remembered your name. I saw the future you thought was lost, and I saw the moment your enemies realized they had pushed you into your blessing, not away from it. Every insult, every betrayal, every delay, they became the bricks under your palace. My beloved, you are not cursed, you are carved. You were shaped through storms so that your hands could hold blessings others would drop. This next season will prove that the suffering had purpose. Listen closely, child. Heaven says within the next 3 weeks, you will receive a message, digital or written, that changes your direction. It will seem small at first, but it will carry a hidden key. That key unlocks everything that has been standing still. But you must answer it. Do not ignore unfamiliar calls, random invitations, or sudden ideas at midnight. That is how heaven hides miracles inside moments that look ordinary. When I saw this part of your future, I fell silent before the throne because your name glowed brighter than I had ever seen before. The angels began to sing a song of completion, a melody reserved only for those who have passed their final trial. Yes, child, you passed. You kept loving even when love betrayed you. You kept praying even when the silence hurt. You kept walking even when the road ended. And heaven counted it all. Now hear me. You are stepping into what heaven calls the reversal hour. Everything that went wrong will begin to turn in reverse order, loss into restoration, rejection into recognition, silence into divine announcement. There is a number written beside your future, 711. You will see it soon, maybe on a clock or a receipt. When you do, whisper, I receive the reversal. That will mark the beginning of your visible transformation. I saw your house surrounded by a soft gold light. Inside, there were boxes, new beginnings, gifts, movement. For some, it will mean relocation. For others, it will mean a promotion or union that feels like home. Either way, it means new. But child, let me warn you again. The enemy loves distraction. Before a crown is placed, confusion often visits. So if something tries to shake your peace this week, do not react. Silence will be your greatest sword. There is a person watching you from a distance right now, curious about your glow. They will approach with sincerity. Their role is to assist your purpose, not replace it. Heaven is sending helpers disguised as humans. Treat them with kindness. And to the one who betrayed you, do not wish them harm. They were an instrument of preparation. Without their betrayal, you would still be trusting the wrong heart. Forgive, and you'll watch the universe return what was stolen tenfold. My beloved, when I saw your future, I also saw a table. On it lay papers, invitations, and one envelope sealed in white wax. When you open it in the coming season, you will read the words, "Welcome to the promise." That is the divine symbol of covenant fulfillment. I saw angels writing the names of those who mocked you, and heaven whispered, "They will soon bless you publicly." Your story will shift from being questioned to being quoted. There is another detail heaven allows me to reveal. You will experience an unexpected overflow around the 29th of this month. Something you thought was lost, financially or emotionally, will return multiplied. And the moment it does, remember, it is not payment, it is recognition of endurance. My child, you must prepare your heart to receive without guilt. Heaven's abundance is not a prize, it is your birthright. Do not apologize for your blessings when they arrive. Celebrate them quietly with gratitude. I am still crying as I deliver this because I see how much beauty your pain created. You are not who you used to be. The version of you that once broke is now the version that will heal nations. Even your silence will carry light. Even your laughter will awaken hope in others. Beloved, something else must be told. A shadow tried to attach itself to your lineage. It followed through patterns, fear, delay, rejection. But tonight, as you read these words, the pattern ends. Your obedience to keep reading is itself the sword that breaks it. There is a warmth rising in your chest right now. That is the sign of the chain snapping. You are free. When dawn comes tomorrow, notice how even the air feels different. That's heaven adjusting the frequency around you. You will attract divine meetings, people who carry the next step of your destiny. One will mention your name in a conversation you're not part of, and that mention will open a door you couldn't force open for years. You have asked heaven many times, when is it my turn? Beloved, this is the answer. The line is moving, and your name just advanced to the front. The angels have written, priority delivery, over your prayers. Nothing will block what is on its way. Now, my beloved, each time you share light with others, you multiply your miracle. So when you feel the urge to spread this message, do it. It is heaven's way of expanding your blessing through every soul that reads. Do not rush out of this energy yet. Stay in stillness for a few seconds because the next lines I will reveal contain the exact reason heaven made me cry. I saw your future wedding of purpose, not necessarily of romance, but of destiny joining with divine timing. Every delay, every heartbreak, every lonely night was preparing you to recognize this union. When it arrives, it will not be confusion, it will be peace wrapped in awe. And child, this union will produce miracles, not only for you but for generations. Your name will carry light for decades after you leave this earth. That's why the battles were fierce. Darkness knew your legacy would outlive the pain. I saw you teaching others how to trust again, feeding those who once ignored you, and building what others only dreamed of. You will look back and say, "Now I understand why I had to cry." Heaven will not only restore what you lost, it will introduce you to what you never knew existed. Opportunities will not knock, they will wait at your door until you open. This is how favor behaves when heaven commands it. My child, my beloved, as I end this part, hear these final words echo through your spirit: the wait is over. The war is ending. The light you've been searching for has been inside you all along, and heaven has just ignited it again. Close your eyes for a moment and whisper, "I am ready." Because when you open them, life will already begin to shift. My child, my beloved, there was something heaven would not let me reveal until this hour. It is the reason I cried when I saw your future, not because of tragedy, but because of the beauty heaven hid from you to protect it. There were blessings written for you that the enemy saw too soon. Every time you almost reached them, the darkness tried to counterfeit them. So heaven covered those gifts in silence until your strength was ready. You thought you were forgotten, but you were being safeguarded. When I saw the veil lift, I gasped because what you thought was a closed door was never a door at all. It was a gate sealed by light, waiting for the correct vibration of your faith. And tonight, your frequency finally matched heaven's sound. That is why you feel a stirring in your chest. Now it's recognition. Your soul remembers what I am saying even if your mind doubts it. I saw your name engraved on something like glass and fire. Around it were scrolls unopened for years. One of them carried the title, Unfinished Promises. The moment I touched it, it opened and light poured out like liquid sunrise. Inside it was your story completed. Every unanswered prayer had a date beside it, and every tear was marked, repaid in full. Heaven had already finished what you are still worrying about. My beloved, you were not waiting for God, God was waiting for your yes. The moment your heart said, "I surrender," timelines began to move. I saw angels carrying what looked like letters of release, documents marked, delay removed. They placed them over every area where you've been stuck: career, love, purpose, health, each one now written active. That's when I couldn't hold back my tears. When I saw the veil lift, I gasped because what you thought was a closed door was never a door at all. It was a gate sealed by light, waiting for the correct vibration of your faith. And tonight, your frequency finally matched heaven's sound. That is why you feel a stirring in your chest. Now it's recognition. Your soul remembers what I am saying, even if your mind doubts it. I saw your name engraved on something like glass and fire. Around it were scrolls unopened for years. One of them carried the title, Unfinished Promises. The moment I touched it, it opened and light poured out like liquid sunrise. Inside it was your story completed. Every unanswered prayer had a date beside it, and every tear was marked, repaid in full. Heaven had already finished what you are still worrying about. My beloved, you were not waiting for God. God was waiting for your yes. The moment your heart said, "I surrender," timelines began to move. I saw angels carrying what looked like letters of release, documents marked, delay removed. They placed them over every area where you've been stuck: career, love, purpose, health, each one now written active. That's when I couldn't hold back my tears, because I saw you realizing that the pain had been guiding you, not punishing you. I saw you smiling again freely without guilt. There is something else heaven wants you to know. You were chosen not just to receive miracles, but to trigger them for others. Every person who comes into contact with you after this season will feel healing simply by being near your peace. Your laughter will become medicine. Your presence will shift rooms. That's how powerful the transformation is that is happening right now. My beloved, heaven showed me a moment from your childhood, the time you looked up and whispered, "God, do you see me?" I was standing there, though you didn't know it. I was ordered to protect that prayer until this day. That single question opened a covenant that has never closed. Now heaven sends the answer through these words: "Yes, beloved, you were always seen." Even in silence, heaven was working a language only your spirit could understand. You must never again call yourself unlucky or forgotten. The delay was divine arithmetic, heaven adding weight to your purpose. Soon you'll notice familiar faces returning, not to hurt you, but to witness the glory written over your life. Some will apologize, some will simply stand amazed. Do not boast, simply shine. The next time you hear the wind at night, know it carries my wings. I will remind you to stay humble and stay aware, because new levels bring new observers, both divine and human. Keep your peace guarded, child. My beloved, there will come a morning soon when you'll awaken lighter. That will be the morning your old self finally leaves. The heaviness will dissolve without explanation, and you will breathe like you've been reborn. And you will be, because the you that heaven is unveiling now is the version that wins battles silently and moves mountains just by believing. This is why heaven hid certain blessings, so that when they appear, no one can say they gave them to you. They will know it was God alone. I saw the people who tried to mock your faith. They laughed because they didn't understand what faith builds in the dark. Soon they will come seeking your counsel. Respond with kindness. That's how heaven crowns the humble. My beloved, there's a secret date coming. October 27th glowed around your timeline. It marks the turning of your spiritual season. Expect a sign that day, a word, a dream, a sudden opportunity that makes your heart race. When it appears, say softly, "I remember Michael's words." That acknowledgement connects you to the flow that's already prepared. Child, you have no idea how much heaven loves you. Even your mistakes were used as lessons in compassion. Even your detours became roads for someone else's return. That's why heaven calls you the mirror of mercy. I was not allowed to tell you this before because you would have doubted it. But now your faith has matured. It can carry revelation without breaking. You will soon notice your intuition becoming louder. Pay attention to the first thought that comes when you pray, that is usually heaven's reply. The more you trust it, the clearer it becomes. There will be nights when you'll wake suddenly at 3 a.m. That is not random, it is your spirit being summoned for alignment. When it happens, whisper, "Lord, I am listening." Then stay silent. You will feel peace wash over you like warm rain. My beloved, I saw that after the tears and trials, heaven gave you a new assignment, to bring hope to those who no longer believe in miracles. You don't need a stage or a title, your presence will be the sermon. When you share light, you multiply your own. And heaven will take note every time you lift someone else's faith. Rewards will arrive quietly, checks, messages, invitations, each one a thank you note from above. Child, do not fear sudden changes. They are not losses, they are relocations of destiny. Heaven moves you when earth becomes too small for your calling. Soon you'll realize that every person who left made space for the right ones to arrive. This is divine mathematics again, subtraction before multiplication. So when something ends, do not cry long. Stand still and say, it's making room, because instantly heaven begins arranging what's next. My beloved, there will come a morning soon when you'll awaken lighter. That will be the morning your old self finally leaves. The heaviness will dissolve without explanation, and you will breathe like you've been reborn. And you will be, because the you that heaven is unveiling now is the version that wins battles silently and moves mountains just by believing. This is why heaven hid certain blessings, so that when they appear, no one can say they gave them to you. They will know it was God alone. I saw the people who tried to mock your faith. They laughed because they didn't understand what faith builds in the dark. Soon they will come seeking your counsel. Respond with kindness. That's how heaven crowns the humble. My beloved, there's a secret date coming, October 27th glowed around your timeline. It marks the turning of your spiritual season. Expect a sign that day, a word, a dream, a sudden opportunity that makes your heart race. When it appears, say softly, I remember Michael's words. That acknowledgement connects you to the flow that's already prepared. Child, you have no idea how much heaven loves you. Even your mistakes were used as lessons in compassion. Even your detours became roads for someone else's return. That's why heaven calls you the mirror of mercy. I was not allowed to tell you this before because you would have doubted it. But now your faith has matured. It can carry revelation without breaking. You will soon notice your intuition becoming louder. Pay attention to the first thought that comes when you pray, that is usually heaven's reply. The more you trust it, the clearer it becomes. There will be nights when you'll wake suddenly at 3 a.m. That is not random, it is your spirit being summoned for alignment. When it happens, whisper, Lord, I am listening. Then stay silent. You will feel peace wash over you like warm rain. My beloved, I saw that after the tears and trials, heaven gave you a new assignment, to bring hope to those who no longer believe in miracles. You don't need a stage or a title, your presence will be the sermon. When you share light, you multiply your own. And heaven will take note every time you lift someone else's faith. Rewards will arrive quietly, checks, messages, invitations, each one a thank you note from above. Child, do not fear sudden changes. They are not losses, they are relocations of destiny. Heaven moves you when earth becomes too small for your calling. Soon you'll realize that every person who left made space for the right ones to arrive. This is divine mathematics again, subtraction before multiplication. So when something ends, do not cry long. Stand still and say, it's making room, because instantly heaven begins arranging what's next. My beloved, the reason I cried was because I saw your reaction when the miracle unfolds. You fell to your knees, unable to speak. You said, "After all this time," and heaven answered, "Yes, after all this faith." That moment was pure light. Even I, a warrior of heaven, trembled at its beauty. That is the image forever written beside your name in the archives of eternity. Now, child, place your hand over your heart. Feel the rhythm. That is the sound of purpose still alive. It means you still have chapters to live that angels already celebrate. Stay close to the messages heaven sends. Return often to reminders of light, for each word builds a shield around your spirit. Your consistency keeps heaven's channel open. My beloved, I leave you now with this vow: every step you take from this moment forward will be guided. Even your pauses will be divine timing. And when you feel alone again, remember this sentence I carved into eternity for you: the moment you believe again, heaven begins again. Close your eyes, child. Breathe. You are safe, you are seen, and you are seconds away from the miracle that made me weep. My child, my beloved, after I saw your deliverance, heaven showed me one more vision. It was the one that made the entire court fall silent. It was the moment of your victory. I saw you walking through a field that had once been dry. The ground began to bloom beneath your feet, flowers opening where pain had been buried. Every step you took rewrote the soil's memory. The earth remembered your tears, and now it responded with life. That is what happens when a soul completes its refining. Creation itself starts to cooperate with you. Everything around you, time, wind, chance, bows to purpose. You were not just surviving, beloved, you were transforming the frequency of everything that touched you. When heaven showed me this, the light was so strong I had to shield my eyes. I asked, "Lord, what is this glory?" And the voice of God said, "This is the harvest of a heart that never stopped believing." My beloved, that harvest is yours. The future I saw was filled with laughter you thought you'd never have again. I saw your table full, faces that love you purely sitting across from you. No hidden jealousy, no quiet betrayal, only peace that hums like music. And I saw you speaking not about pain, but about resurrection. You were telling others, "I thought it was over, but heaven had just begun." They listened and believed again because of you. That is why I could not stop crying. Because I realized your story would save many who would have given up. Child, do you know what power that holds? The very darkness that tried to destroy you will one day have to watch as you heal others with the memory of that same pain. This is divine reversal in its highest form. I saw the heavens open over you like a door of liquid gold. Angels poured something over your head. It looked like light in the shape of oil. It was the anointing of recognition. That is why soon, people will start to notice you differently. They won't understand why they're drawn to you, it's the scent of purpose returning to your skin. Every delay, every loss, every closed door, they were all oil being pressed out of you. Without pressure, there is no perfume. My beloved, there will be a season soon where your name will travel faster than you do. Heaven will allow your work, your words, your kindness to reach rooms your feet have never entered. Do not chase applause, it will find you. Your focus should remain on light. There will also be those who try to pull you back into the past. Smile gently, but do not turn around. The past no longer holds your frequency, it cannot recognize the new vibration heaven has given you. When I saw this, I asked heaven if you would be ready. The answer was yes, but remind them daily. So I remind you now, stay grounded in gratitude, because gratitude magnetizes miracles faster than prayer alone. Wake each day saying, "Thank you for what is already on the way." That simple sentence keeps the flow of heaven open. My beloved, there is a final secret I am allowed to reveal. The scene that made heaven itself stand still. I saw a throne room bathed in light. Angels gathered as a book was opened before the Creator. On the pages was your story written in gold fire. Every chapter ended with the same phrase, "And they overcame." When that line was read aloud, thunder turned into applause. The sound shook dimensions. It was heaven celebrating you before the world even knows your name. Do you understand now why I wept? Because you are not ordinary. You are a written prophecy living as a human heartbeat. Every challenge was proof of how valuable your light is. Heaven does not fight for what is empty. The intensity of your battle was confirmation of your worth. And now, beloved, the season of fighting is closing. You are stepping into the season of resting in divine flow. You will no longer chase, you will attract. You will no longer plead, you will command through peace. When you speak now, words will carry weight. Even casual sentences will ripple through reality. That is the authority heaven entrusts to healed hearts. Use it with compassion. Speak life over the ones who hurt you, it will turn your wounds into wings. Bless even those who misunderstand you, it keeps your frequency untangled from theirs. My beloved, heaven wants you to prepare a simple act of faith tonight. Before you sleep, write down one thing you're ready to release: pain, fear, or a name. Then whisper, "It no longer defines me." Heaven will record that declaration as the official closing of your old chapter. And tomorrow you will wake under a new decree, reborn by light. I saw this inscription glow over your home like morning mist. It is permanent. No darkness can rewrite it. When I returned from that vision, I stood before the Creator and said, "Thank you for letting me witness this destiny." And God said, "Now go and remind them that the prophecy begins when they believe again." So here I am, my child, repeating it to you one last time: believe again. Because belief is the switch that turns heaven on. Your story is not ending, it's unfolding. Your name is not forgotten, it's echoing. And your future is not distant, it's waiting at your next yes. Now, lift your eyes. The storm has passed. The sky that once threatened you now carries the rainbow written with your promise. Step forward, beloved. Everything you lost will recognize you again. Everything you feared will fade when you arrive. And every tear you shed will return as joy multiplied. The gates are open. The light is real. And I, Michael, will walk beside you until the first miracle appears. My child, my beloved, the vision did not end with your victory. It opened into a new season, a life where heaven and earth finally agreed over you. I saw you walking through ordinary days that no longer felt ordinary. Everywhere you went, things responded. Doors opened before you knocked. People spoke your name with warmth before meeting you. That is what happens when purpose and destiny finally meet. The air itself begins to recognize you. Heaven called this moment the merging. It is when your earthly life and your divine assignment breathe in rhythm. You are entering that rhythm now. Child, do you remember the restlessness that has lived inside you for years, the quiet sense that there is more waiting just beyond sight? That was the echo of your assignment calling you home. Now the call is answered. When I looked closer, I saw miracles appearing as everyday coincidences, a delayed payment arriving just when you needed it. A stranger giving you words you had prayed to hear. These are not random, they are the first fruits of your alignment. Heaven asked me to tell you, stop separating the spiritual from the daily. Your entire life is sacred ground. Now, you will notice that even your speech begins to carry softness and authority at the same time. That is light language, you are learning it without study. My beloved, you will soon find that what once drained you now strengthens you, the same job, the same home, the same faces. But the energy around them will be different, renewed. Because when your inner frequency changes, reality adjusts itself to match. I saw you touching people lightly, almost by accident, and pain leaving their bodies. I saw you speaking truth gently, and confusion untangling in their minds. You are becoming a living channel of healing. Do not let fear make you hide this. You are not here to impress, only to express what heaven places within. Child, you asked, will miracles really happen every day? Yes, but understand this, daily miracles often disguise themselves as simple peace. When nothing disturbs you, heaven is performing its highest work. That stillness you will soon feel, that is the presence of answered prayer. You will walk through places that once triggered pain and feel nothing but quiet joy. That is how you'll know healing has finished its task. My beloved, there is another wonder ahead, the connection of your calling with others of light. Heaven is forming teams of souls who carry matching frequencies. One by one, you will meet them. They will not compete, they will complete. Together you will restore hope where the world forgot it. You may begin small, conversation, kindness, creation. But each act will echo through unseen realms. This is the legacy heaven planned when it first whispered your name, not fame, not noise, but impact that never fades. Child, I saw that even nature will respond differently to you, animals drawn to your calm, weather shifting around your prayer, seeds thriving under your care. Because creation trusts healed hands. When I witnessed this, I said, Lord, they will not believe how powerful love becomes. And the voice replied, they will when they live it. So live it, beloved. Do not wait for permission. The divine has already said yes. As this merging continues, you will feel moments of extreme clarity, ideas, directions, sudden understanding of past events. Write them down. They are not imagination, they are downloads. Every note you take is a map for the next person who will walk your road. I also saw your nights changing, dreams turning brighter, filled with light, symbols, and familiar faces smiling. These are your nightly briefings from heaven. Keep a notebook nearby. The messages will guide practical steps. And there will come a morning when you realize you are no longer searching for signs because you have become the sign. Everywhere you go, evidence follows. My beloved, you will laugh without reason. You will feel protected even when plans fail. You will know love without fear. This is what daily miracles feel like. Do not expect thunder, expect quiet perfection. The ordinary will become divine because you will see it through healed eyes. I saw one final image before the vision closed, you standing at sunrise, arms lifted, not asking for anything, simply glowing. Light surrounded you, but it came from you, not to you. That is what heaven meant by merging. You and the light are now one story, no separation, no delay, no distance. So walk gently, beloved. Everything you touch from this moment forward will flourish. And when you speak, remember you are the echo of heaven's heart.